Justice James Omotosho says global judges warn him not to judge a man kidnapped in Kenya. In a statement, Justice Omotosho reportedly said, I have received several letters and warnings from judges around the world advising me not to judge a man who was illegally kidnapped in Kenya. This case carries international implications, and one mistake could permanently stain my reputation and the image of this court. He further added that the controversy surrounding Nnamdi Kanu's extraordinary redemption has made the case too politically toxic to handle fairly within Nigeria's judicial system. Good day, my viewers. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. If this is your first time to come across our channel, please help us subscribe, like, and share our videos. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Nnamdi Kanu's latest move is a legal gamble that could seal his fate. In what appears to be a bold but legally precarious move, Nnamdi Kanu has informed the Federal High Court that he no longer intends to open his defense in his ongoing terrorism trial. He claimed that there are no legitimate charges against him. This sensitive declaration, though emotionally charged and defiant, carries serious legal consequences that may not work in his favor. This latest stance mirrors the same no case submission strategy previously advanced by his former legal team. That was an argument suggesting that the prosecution failed to establish a prima facie case. However, that application was dismissed by the Honorable Court, which then directed the defendant to enter his defense, reintroducing this same argument, especially after a prior dismissal, may turn out to be a fatal reputation of a failed defense strategy. By refusing to open his defense and insisting that there are no valid charges against him, Kanu has effectively placed the matter back in the hands of the court. Chief Justice James Omotosho's response was very clear. He instructed Kanu to put his position in writing as a final written address and to serve the same to the prosecution. This step signals that the matter has reached a critical stage and the stage is now set for the court's final judgment. Within the confines of criminal procedures, once a defendant declines to enter a defense after being called upon to do so, the court is empowered to proceed to judgment based on the evidence already before it. If Kanu submits this declaration in writing, it will effectively close his golden opportunity to introduce any evidence or weaknesses in his favor. In other words, he would be handling the court the discretion to determine his fate based solely on the prosecution's case. That move could lead directly to conviction and sentencing. Legal observers have already cautioned the Justice Omotosho may find Kanu guilty given the implication of this decision. The court has adjourned the matter to the 4th and 5th and the 6th of November for the filing and adoption of final written addresses. That marks the last phase before judgment is delivered. At this stage, Kanu's legal posture appears to be a calculated gamble. It is rooted either in deep conviction of innocence or in flawed legal counsel. Either ways, the courtroom is no longer a battleground for emotions but of law. And in law, emotional assertion are never a substitute for strategic defense. It is always good to allow lawyers to do their jobs, and it is important to always take the legal advice of brilliant and competent lawyers at all times. If Nnamdi Kanu formalizes his no defense position in writing, the legal consequences could be swift and final within the law. Such a submission paves the way for the judge to pronounce judgment. That judgment, at the court's discretion, could lead straight to jail. The coming days will determine whether this is an act of courage or a costly misstep in the final chapter of one of Nigeria's most politically charged trials. Could it also be that Kanu has already made up his mind to serve his time? Our comment section is open for this question to be discussed there. But it is so glaring that Nigerian system wants to jail him, and he, on the other hand, may wish to make it swift for them after appeal court judgment of discharge and acquittal, which the system disobeyed their court that alone held Nigeria in contempt of the court. If the society is a sane one and is extraordinary redemption from Kenya to Nigeria and series of rights violation and beating in DSS custody, I wonder why our brilliant minds refuse to talk about it all. I see it's all strategic, but then Nnamdi Kanu is not the problem of Nigeria. Just that Nigeria is rather not intentional about criticism. This Nigeria and our citizens are funny, and funny people, to the best of my knowledge, whether they jail him or not. One thing is certain: there are two laws for different people in Nigeria. I'll rest my case here. Our comment section is open. Make we shook my put for this matter where they go on. You dey see am so? Because this thing don't pass, be careful. I go see you again for my next video. Make una bye bye yo.